the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, one of the most profound practices is that of Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This technique encourages us to contemplate potential hardships, losses, and setbacks we can encounter. At first glance, this notion may seem unsettling, even pessimistic, but a closer examination reveals its transformative power. By envisioning difficulties, we cultivate a deeper appreciation for our current blessings and fortify ourselves against future adversities. Lesson 1. The importance of awareness objective. To understand how practicing Premeditatio Malorum increases our appreciation for what we have and prepares us for potential loss. In the fast pace of modern life, it's easy to become complacent about what we have. We take our relationships, health, and even simple pleasures for granted. This mindset can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction or shock when we face difficulties or losses. Enter the Stoic practice of Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils, which calls for a deliberate reflection on potential hardships. This lesson will focus on the importance of awareness of our present circumstances and the vulnerabilities associated with them. By contemplating the possibility of loss, we foster a deeper appreciation for our current joys. Imagine taking a moment to think about a loved one. Picture a day without them, a life where their absence is an unfillable void. This thought may sting, but it serves a crucial purpose. By imagining this potential future, we find ourselves recognizing how deeply we value our time with them. We might begin to act with more intention, spending quality moments together rather than taking them for granted. The fleeting nature of life brings clarity to what truly matters. Moreover, this practice helps us cultivate mindfulness. Each day becomes an opportunity to savor the moment. Instead of rushing through our daily routines, we learn to pause and appreciate the richness of our experiences. When we become aware of what's at stake, our interactions become more genuine and our gratitude deepens. Additionally, awareness through Premeditatio Malorum allows us to confront our fears and anxieties head-on. Rather than ignoring potential misfortunes, we acknowledge them, which paradoxically reduces their power over us. By understanding what could go wrong, we become less fearful of the unknown, realizing that our worst imaginations, while distressing, can also be manageable. This exercise aligns well with practices like journaling or mindfulness meditation, where the act of observation is central to personal growth. As we reflect and document our feelings surrounding potential losses, we can articulate our values and priorities, which can guide us in living a more purposeful life. Ultimately, embracing awareness prompts us to live with intention. We become more proactive not only in cherishing our loved ones, but also in nurturing our own well-being. This enhanced perspective enables us to build a life rooted in understanding and gratitude, rather than fear and regret. Lesson 2. The practicalities of preparation. Objective: to explore how Premeditatio Malorum prepares us for adversity, allowing us to respond with composure rather than panic. Life is inherently unpredictable, and while we cannot control external events, we can control how we respond to them. This lesson focuses on the practical aspects of preparing for adversity through Premeditatio Malorum. By visualizing potential hardships, we not only prepare ourselves mentally, but also equip ourselves with tools to navigate life's inevitable challenges. Think of any athlete before a major competition. They do not simply imagine their success, they also anticipate obstacles, ranging from injuries to adverse weather conditions. By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, athletes condition themselves to respond effectively when faced with adversity. Similarly, as we engage in negative visualization, we mentally equip ourselves for potential challenges we may encounter in everyday life. Consider the scenario of job loss. Instead of ignoring the possibility or brushing it aside as overly pessimistic, we might take a moment to imagine how we would react. We could think through the emotions we might feel: fear, uncertainty, sadness, and then visualize ourselves taking proactive steps, updating our resume, networking, pursuing further education, or exploring new career paths. This mental exercise reduces the shock of the reality if it occurs, allowing us to respond rather than react. Furthermore, premeditating misfortunes helps alleviate suffering when they do occur. When we have already considered the possibility, we may find it much easier to accept the reality when it arises. Accepting loss or change is often more challenging when it catches us off guard. However, by consciously envisioning different scenarios, we can become more resilient. Engaging in this practice can initially feel daunting. It may seem counterintuitive to envision what could go wrong. However, it builds an emotional toolkit. The more we practice, the more adept we become at dealing with setbacks. Our confidence grows as we realize that we can face challenges with wisdom rather than dread. Moreover, we can learn valuable lessons from contemplating the worst. Often, in envisioning losses, we can identify what truly matters to us: our relationships, values, goals. This clarity can motivate us to prioritize what we need to focus on now, creating a life aligned with our values. Incorporating Premeditatio Malorum into our routine doesn't mean we walk around in a state of worry. Instead, it cultivates a mindset of preparedness that allows us to stay grounded. Ultimately, preparation nurtures a sense of autonomy over our emotions and decisions, empowering us to face whatever life may bring with dignity and strength. Lesson 3. Cultivating equanimity. Objective: to understand how Premeditatio Malorum fosters equanimity, allowing us to remain calm in the face of adversity. The Stoic ideal of equanimity, maintaining a balanced and even-minded disposition regardless of external circumstances, is one of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy. In this lesson, we will explore how the practice of Premeditatio Malorum nurtures equanimity, allowing us to approach life's adversities with a sense of calm and control. Imagine encountering a challenging situation, such as a sudden illness or a financial setback. In the throes of hardship, it is natural to experience a range of emotions: fear, frustration, sadness. However, through the lens of premeditated negative visualization, we have already contemplated these situations before they became a reality. This mental rehearsal enables us to respond more thoughtfully when facing challenges. By acknowledging the possibility of misfortunes beforehand, we can prepare our minds to accept them when they arise. The Stoics emphasize the importance of accepting reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. Premeditating potential challenges arms us with a greater understanding. We begin to recognize that suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. This acceptance fosters a mindset of resilience, allowing us to remain centered amidst life's chaos. Additionally, this practice cultivates emotional intelligence. As we envision different scenarios, we gain insight into how we would like to respond, rather than react impulsively. For instance, if we begin to experience stability in our job but are reminded through visualization that it could change, we can learn to respond with a sense of curiosity. Instead of panicking, we might become more proactive about upgrading our skills, networking, or seeking new opportunities ahead of time. Equanimity is also about detachment from outcomes. Life's unpredictability means that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we interpret and react to those events. By training ourselves to remain equanimous, we develop a cushion of emotional resilience. We recognize that all experiences, both good and bad, are transient. This understanding helps us navigate interactions and challenges without being overly affected by external circumstances. The practice of premeditating hardships also encourages a sense of gratitude. When we visualize potential losses and then return to our current state, we often find ourselves appreciating it more. We may realize how lucky we are in our current situation, which can engender a profound sense of teshakur, thankfulness, that underscores our resilience. In summary, cultivating equanimity through Premeditatio Malorum allows us to take command of our emotional landscape. Instead of being buffeted by the winds of fortune, we can stand firm, grounded in our understanding of life's unpredictable nature. This steady foundation empowers us to navigate adversity without being overwhelmed, allowing for personal growth and inner peace even in the face of potential storms. Lesson 4. Embracing Impermanence. Objective: to recognize how embracing impermanence through the practice of Premeditatio Malorum enriches our experience of life. One of the fundamental truths of existence is impermanence, the idea that everything we cherish is transient. This lesson delves into how practicing Premeditatio Malorum can help us embrace this reality, allowing us to live more fully and authentically in the present. Consider the relationships and experiences in your life. How often do we assume they will always be there? We may take our loved ones for granted, thinking that we will always have time to share our feelings or create memories. When we engage in negative visualization, we invite ourselves to reflect on the potential loss of these precious connections. Imagining a day without a loved one or losing a cherished experience can be painful, but ultimately liberating. It serves as a reminder of the limited time we have to express appreciation and love. Embracing impermanence allows us to dissolve the illusion of permanence that often permeates our lives. When we accept that everything is in constant flux, we open ourselves to a more profound experience of gratitude. This understanding propels us to live each day as if it were our last, fostering a greater sense of urgency to act in alignment with our values and priorities. Consider the beauty of a sunset. It is stunning, breathtaking, and yet, it lasts only a few moments. When we truly allow ourselves to appreciate the fleeting nature of that experience, we find ourselves more present, more alive in that moment. The same principle applies to all aspects of our lives. When we acknowledge that our relationships, achievements, and experiences are temporary, we can fully immerse ourselves in them, extracting their richness and depth. Moreover, this practice aligns us with the natural rhythm of life. Everything rises and falls. Relationships ebb and flow. Opportunities come and go. Learning to accept this cycle invites us to view change not as something frightening, but as an opportunity for growth. By engaging in conscious reflection, we recognize that endings often pave the way for new beginnings. Imagine the changing of the seasons. Each season brings its own unique beauty and set of experiences, but they are all transient. The vibrancy of spring, the warmth of summer, the quiet of winter, each season has its time and place. Similarly, life offers us distinct experiences and moments, each valuable in its unique way. When we open ourselves to the knowledge that change is woven into the very fabric of existence, we begin to view our own lives as a series of unique chapters, each valuable in its fleeting nature. Additionally, embracing impermanence cultivates resilience. When we anticipate that loss is possible, we build a mental framework that can help cushion the impact of inevitable changes. We become less attached, understanding that our happiness does not solely hinge on external circumstances. Instead, it becomes possible to find joy in the moment, regardless of its transitory nature. This resilience empowers us to adapt more readily to the ebbs and flows of life, letting go of what no longer serves us while remaining open to new possibilities. Finally, embracing impermanence promotes deeper connections with ourselves and others. It urges us to prioritize authenticity and vulnerability in our relationships. When we recognize the fleeting nature of time, we often find ourselves more willing to share our thoughts and feelings candidly. Authentic expressions of love deepen our connections, leading to richer, more meaningful relationships. As we confront potential losses through Premeditatio Malorum, we cultivate a sense of urgency to communicate our feelings and affirm our affection. We are less likely to leave things unsaid or unresolved because the reminder of impermanence creates a sense of priority about our relationships. Instead of taking bonds for granted, we find opportunities to express love, gratitude, and understanding, enhancing our connections. In conclusion, the practice of Premeditatio Malorum encourages us to embrace impermanence as a fundamental aspect of life. By doing so, we cultivate gratitude, resilience, deeper connections, and the ability to live authentically. As we confront potential losses, we become empowered to appreciate the present moment fully. In a world that is constantly changing, this practice becomes an anchor, guiding us to live with purpose and intention amidst life's uncertainties. Embracing impermanence is not merely about accepting what we cannot control. It is about finding beauty and meaning in the temporal nature of existence. It invites us to experience each moment as a unique gift rather than a given. Thus, we learn to navigate life with a heart open to both joy and sorrow, understanding that each moment holds value, shaped by its fleeting nature. In the end, it is precisely this impermanence that makes life rich and vibrant, compelling us to cherish every second, savor every interaction, and cultivate a life lived fully in the present.